So does this sound like it's on, right? Just not loud yet. Well, yeah. Main thing is to decide whether it's actually all right. Well, the stage is set. Now it's up to the pros. 5 minutes from go tell everybody all right, it's 7:05, so we'll get started at 7:10. And everyone who wants to read on the open mic, please let
right. Eric, is yeah, that's working, right? Yeah. That's everybody can hear, right? Yes, yes. Very good, very good. All right, I'm delighted to welcome everyone this evening to yeah, the August today what is the 6th, August 6th, first Thursday event of August. And we have a very promising program tonight, two poets. And then, of course, we'll have our usual brief intermission and then an open mic session. And anyone who wants to read, please do let Jerry know and get you on the list. So, uh, our first poet this evening is Mukethe Kawinzi, who describes himself as a transsexual goat herder and land steward working at the intersection of the pastoral, modern black agrarianism, queer identity, and contemporary rural life. So, and we're talking here about 330 goats that Mukethe herds. I was commenting before that the goat is an animal to me. It's almost like a totem animal. I haven't had that much, personal interaction with them, but when I have, I've been very inspired. So I'm a little jealous of anybody who's spending a good portion of their time with the goats. But so that's and among his books are Touching Grass, great title, Cones to a Young Cowboy, and Rut. And also, I think you're the recipient of a couple of awards, which you might mention as you're coming up to read. So I'm delighted to present Mukethe as the first poet of the evening.
Um, Before I read something, I wanted to say some words in honor of Andrew Paul Nelson. um, for those of us who value creative community, it isn't promised to us as individuals. It takes effort and time to show up, to be vulnerable. Um, it takes a sort of radical sort of empathy and acceptance of other people, but almost more significantly, it takes actual physical space, tangible spaces like Bird and Beckett, um, like the corner of 16th and Mission, like Medicine for Nightmares and City Lights. I I don't think that I'll ever forget the feeling that I had the first time that I walked into Golden Sardine, um, because I was, pardon, 2 years ago. It was a reading. It was the first. It was the first Friday reading. Giovanna Lamonto read, who I was seeing her read for the first time, and I'm going to her wedding in a couple of weeks. Um, and I was new to spending time in San Francisco. I walked into this room where I knew no one, but I felt like I was immediately at home, which is a pretty profound thing to experience as a stranger. Um, and I also felt a massive amount of appreciation and gratitude for whomever it was that had the vision for that space and who was tending it. And I now know that that is Andrew Parr Nelson and Caitlin Sky Wild. And so I wanted to start by saying thank you. Okay, yes, I am a goat herder. Uh, in the Not yet, baby. Not yet. Um, ish, youngish. Um, so within the field of livestock farming, especially ranching, there is an idea called low stress livestock handling, often called nonviolent livestock handling, sometimes called stockmanship. And this has become a passion of mine. The idea is that as a human livestock handler, you work to understand and adapt to an animal's natural instincts, and therefore you can work them, move them through space, get them to do what it is that you want them to do without violence, without tools, oftentimes without even using your voice, just with using your body. And there are a number of principles within this school of thought. Um, Animals want to be with the herd. Animals want to move in the direction they're already moving. And one of these principles is the idea of stock time. That as humans, rather than trying to get cattle and goats and sheep to go, 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 go in human mode, that we should adapt to the slowness with which they already want to move through life and space. I feel very inspired by this concept of stock time, and here is something that I have written on that theme, entitled Stock Time. A goat is never early. A goat is never late. A goat arrives precisely when he means to. Stock time is like color people time, or island time, or how any of us perpetually tardy punks and poets forsake consortment with punctuality. Apologies for the late response. Sorry, running 10 behind. Girl, I got on the wrong bus. I don't know when I'm finna be there. Ooh, just seeing this message, I was a little delayed in responding. Sorry, apologies, sorry. 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 Clocks are tyranny. There is no need to apologize for moving at the pace of a placid life. The sun arrives. The goats awaken. The sun departs. The goats seek sleep. Natural bohemians, goats pay dust to ticks and tox and conform to cycles of nitrogen, water, carbon, sun. When did you wake up today? When did you first sate your hunger? Did it happen because your body told you? Or was the decision ceded to an alarm clock, a calendar notification, a schedule of school or work today? We move the herd from one corner of the ranch to another. Plan A, leave Perry, drift east through Oil Well, slide down the scary shortcut road into PRBO, cross the bridge at Apple Orchard, wind up through Water Tank, trot up through Cocoa Woods, settle in at Lane Hill, highest point on the ranch. They might miss that first turn and end up at the hay barn, or get tempted by riparian forage, or glide into the oaks beneath the scary shortcut road, so also sketch out plans B and C and associated contingencies, puzzle out the weak spots in advance. Whichever way you go, get to the herd early. Aim for first light before their initial grazing period. Gently gather everyone together before hitting it. Let everybody stand up, stretch, take a piss. Let dams pair up with kids. Start slow. As you get going, mind the whole herd, but also each individual goat. Stay slow. Don't rush. Let it take the amount of time it takes. If at any point you are hooting and hollering and chasing after a goat, you've lost. Herding happens on stock time. Today, the does who recently gave birth were shuffled into a low-slung field lush with vetch and mule's ear. It is the day after spring equinox. One dam hung back, choosing initially to nest with her 2-day-old kid, but animals want to be with the herd. Suddenly alone, she ran out to find the departed goats, now acres away, nowhere to be seen, then freaked out and hid high in an oak grove. Okay. Plan B. I gotta go draw her out. You cannot be chasing goats and expect success. I herded back a small group of does and waited beneath the trees where she had secreted herself away. As the lures snacked on milk thistle and ripgut, she began to mosey down the hill, slow and scared, on her own time, on stock time. She started, stopped, restarted, stopped. I stood tight. Some amount of minutes passed, and she rejoined her family. It takes the time it takes. Spat out with an eye roll and a Dixiecrat accent, color people time suggests us black and brown folk are foundationally distracted, ungraciously tardy, carelessly ignorant to the needs of polite society, unable to conform to timeliness. No, these people are wrong, and probably also racist. Look to the goats. It is a revolutionary act to while ours head solicitously tilted towards falling warmth. There is much unsung virtue in laziness. The world will one day come to realize that sloth is liberation. Food ferreted in the midst of hunger is indeed worth hustle. Made in buds on infant manzanita worth barreling toward. Threats demand swift fling, and there's rationality in hoofing it to glassy spurts of groundwater if you've thirsted all day in full sun. I do not question bug-eyed pelting toward does and heat on that first day of breeding. Otherwise, there is much to life lived as 1,000 tiny siestas over the course of the day, overindulging rest and rumination until up, 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 like a wave you crest, one by one to standing, and snail's pace over to the next greedy mouthful of creeping rye and yarrow. Thank you. That was the only thing I was going to read, but I was told that I had more time than I thought I had. So I thought I'd finish with one little prose poem. It doesn't actually work very well on its own, but I wrote this the first time that I was in Golden Sardine. Andrew doesn't know this, but I wrote a poem the first time I was in Golden Sardine. As I said, I truly had this emotional reaction of feeling very struck at the beauty of the room. And I was coming off of 4.5 years of living and working in rural America and farming being the only thing that I had been doing. And then suddenly I was in this urban space of art and community. And I was overwhelmed. So I sat down and wrote this poem. So a few months previous to this moment, I was giving a tour to someone on the ranch where I work. And they said to me, wow, this seems like a really beautiful life, the goats and the grass, but who do you socialize with? And in the moment, I remember thinking, socialize? I hang out with the goats. And then when I was in Golden Sardine for the first time, I was looking around and I was like, oh, right, socializing. Yes, that thing that human life is for. So, for Andrew and Caitlin and Golden Sardine. And who do you socialize with? Barn swallows, mostly. There is a bobcat that lolls about the bindweed in the front field, and I have started to gift droops to the crows. The mares are knock-kneed, but kind. The calves are spooky, but kind. The cattle are gadding, heel flies, but worth idling around. I love the goats. One of the guardian dogs loves me. The other is less trusting. By great measure, but part of my daily life, I saw a mountain lion from afar. I saw a mountain cub from a close. A woman who helped me survive a man 10 years ago reaches out for help with a man she needs help surviving. I met a girl. I met some men. I met another girl. One I would have loved. I bought a book from a poet and hugged her the next week. I drank a glass of wine in a room that had people and bottles and books in it. Trippy Red wailed at me from a Bluetooth speaker. I went home. The frogs were singing, and it was hard to sleep. Thank you.
Mukethe Kawinzi. Beautiful, beautiful reading. Much appreciated, and I hope we all will give the goats the credit to they are due as harbingers of a better world altogether. Um, our second featured poet this evening is Andrew Paul Nelson, who, among his many achievements, probably the greatest, that he started the Golden Sardine in North Beach with his wife, Caitlin. And that is a very special place. It's no wonder that it induced a poetic moment from Mukethe because every time I've been there, it's really been a remarkable place to hang out and get a feel for the best of what the Bay Area has to offer in terms of, you know, funky down home stuff and cosmopolitan stuff, and it's all going on. It's very nice. Um, Andrew's book is entitled "How to Draw a Guillotine," which I highly recommend. And without further ado, Andrew Paul Nelson.
I have like vivid memories of sitting the last time I was up here, so if it's cool with you guys, I'd like to sit. It's Medicine for Nightmares. Yeah. Another truly great bookstore, but also, there's a, like, if you go into the bathroom here and you follow one of the pipes and then you go down into that pipe and you follow it to the next pipe, it'll take you straight there. There's like a portal between the two. And then in the bathroom at Medicine, there's another portal that goes underneath Market Street and then comes up in well, no, in what was it? What was the ice cream shop called? Cheap Thrills. Comes up right in Cheap Thrills, which is a kind of no man's land within City Lights. That was, I never knew this. I always knew it was, my wife works at City Lights, and she always referred to this no man's land as Cheap Thrills, which I just thought was very North Beach and very funny, but I didn't know anything about it. And then I saw a photograph from the 70s of that block, and there was an ice cream shop in that spot that was called Cheap Thrills. And there was no door. You could just get ice cream through the window. That's where the trash is. It's where the portal from Medicine comes up. How to draw a guillotine. The investigating homicide detectives find the murder weapon to be the American Congress. Party of death hidden behind chalkboard. Cause of death, the blunt force trauma of inaction. Specter of death, the senator's weak stomachs refuse to clean up the crime scene. Blood-stained walls of the cave. Blood-stained ballots rendered indecipherable. Blood-stained uniforms unfit for death museums. The DNA of another trapped generation. Praying under school desks. Hiding behind candy voting machines. The only thing they will learn today is how little we care about them. Outside the cave is more of a cave than any cave ever was. I awoke this morning to the halcyon sound of the guillotine ringing off of American concrete. Shop windows too preoccupied with bracing for impact to sleep, looking around for a dream, finally caved in. A bedtime story as the polls close, where we can now project do something, will defeat remain complicit by a healthy margin. No longer waiting for the chosen bell with enough courage to ring, flooding the playground with laughter, children burning their report cards en masse, guilty verdicts in the hallways of the great slaughterhouse of America, crowns of thorns on fire, sacrificial lambs of night, nothing to be done here. A breakable city, this altar, muddled veins of a leaf on the ground, the world awake and defanged in mourning. Miscarried metaphors born from the hip, long concealed in caverns of sick, wet ink to the fingertips. Cleft palate of madness, ready to transition away from spectator to spectacle maker, to spontaneous bride of Frankenstein's monster, albatross of supreme annihilation cloaked in sin, stillborn appendages unhinged, unwoven into American fabulous material of never, stitched together, we are famine come to collect. A river of bones in orbit, wake me for the machines that kill without touching the body. May the police who murder you be barred from attacking your casket. May your death be a living body, your funeral a catching of breath. Poppy fields barricade the neighborhood. We shall eulogize you in rivers, erect monuments of sea, your cratered absence a holy ghost of inescapable springtime. And on the hottest day of the year, every student in America will walk out of their classrooms, leaving their teachers hog-tied to the lectern, out into the brutal sunlight of protest, deep into the forest fire of speaking without tongues, chants of we refuse to write this fucking poem anymore. There's nothing to be done here in America, as long as those of us without skin in the game continue to do nothing. I like this word vespertine. Refers to, you hear it a lot in music and poetry because it's such a beautiful word, and then also refers to things that happen at twilight, which is a beautiful time. So I just assumed that there must be an equally beautiful word for things that happen during the dawn. And so I looked it up, and that word is matutinal. I dreamed I saw the sunrise, blue and inevitable, a funeral parade of spiders, dawn backsliding towards freedom or oblivion. You awoke the volcano, capitulated spleen on prison break from the body. You awoke the mutiny written in love. This inkless typewriter left indentations in the desert sand, whispers in the fumes. You awoke the cartographer's graveyard, a sand dune panopticon of was where dreams go to die. Eternal spring erupted and all your love, all your precious will and indifference melted like Icarus's medicine cabinets. We were poets. We caught the dawn like it cured cancer. Like the sunrise was building a case against us. If only we could arrive at our day in court a little early, or even just on time, we might be acquitted at the last moment of this nihilistic greed that defines our generation. We sucked the poison from every seemingly insignificant snake bite. And we were poets. We believed in nothing but each other and the taxi cab roulette of apathy that defines our generation. And we were poets. It was just as easy to dream as it was impossible to sleep. If only our lungs didn't lack the capacity to grieve. We still know every midnight lullaby by heart. We still drink like trout fish. What was left of our will to create collapsed long ago under the weight of debauchery and apocalyptic boredom. And now we are asleep. Even when we are awake, our phantasms on mute, zombie enamorists perform their immortal rituals to an abyss of empty rooftops. And yet, I dreamed last night of a symposium of sunrise poets. A future ad-libbed where we are born brand new every morning, rubbing sticky afterbirth from our eyes, blindly stumbling to the timbre desk to retrieve a rusty pair of our father's scissors, only to find we have no idea how to use them. Not easily defeated, we bite, claw, chew through the umbilical cords ourselves. This chain of events inaugurates each and every day. We are brand new strangers to ourselves. Every morning we are suicidal saints. A miracle left over sunrise reaching backwards, a nobody, until the smell of coffee, until the purple sky, until I recall this poem from my unborn dreams. It's a poem for Arthur Russell. And the award for Best Dream goes to Crater Face Cowboy, Professor Moonlight, whose only regret was never having had one, who chose to be abandoned, terribly infantile self-saboteur, guardian angel of tramps and Marlboro men, latchkey desert wanderers and disappearing artists, all your leftover secrets hidden away inside metamorphic love. Safe and sound in your East Village tape recorder, your unfinished manifestos leave a pretty corpse. Volume after volume of lust well-lived, a junkie magician's catalog, a 5-story walk-up, you breathe famous on both sides. And the award for Best Dream goes to Old Mesmerist Kitchen Conjurer, Iowa tall grass whisperer, a real hole in the floor, a transcendental portal connecting this leaky basement to the all-night disco and free lunch program. Follow the flashing emergency exit signs to the clever trail of Eucharist on fire, from the window at the top of the stairs to the cello's only orgy beneath St. Christopher Street Pier. How come nobody likes you, Eli? All bare bones, fragmented form, a simple dog all heavy in heaven. Crude renderings of an afterlife, lilting shapeless like a dead-end street. You surrender raw, venality of organs, amorphous febrile phantasmagoria. And the award for Best Dream goes to Lonely Heart Nightingale, Death Memory Miracle Worker, a midnight minstrel ambling the empty avenues at dawn, tongue in hand. Every streetlight, a lucid reminder of timelessness. Each season, returning your warmth, eternal in spring, and you are yourself. In summer, total anarchy, and you are yourself. In fall, though you have no fear of drifting back into formless animality, and you are yourself. In winter, though the clock hustles like the wind, and you're eager to forget the killer inside you, vagabond. Eclipsed moon apostle, keeper of irreversible time. On Sundays, death comes over, we get high, and watch Days of Heaven, while the winos in Washington Square Park stage walkouts against the paper bag tax. Benjamin Franklin tosses his time capsule into the sea. My ghost muse sits cross-legged in a crater on the moon, heavy as America, gazing up at the stoop and dreaming. I only have like one goat memory or like thought. I hope this doesn't like detract from all the beautiful things you said about goats, but I had like not the same experience. I just remember that I have a friend that has a cattle ranch up in Marin, and they used to have goats. I don't know if they still do. I have a hunch they don't. Yeah, Guido. But they're clever, and they were in a pen, but they'd get out. And then they'd catch their reflection in the car door, and they'd knock themselves unconscious. No, it's just the only memory I have of goats. This book is based on this poem. It's called Spring 1793 to Summer 1794. Going to the library to print out a list of aristocrats beheaded during the French Revolution to hide in your nightstand. If it were me, and there were only a few of us, and 8 billion of them, I'd be trying to leave Earth too. It's no wonder Jeffrey can't sleep, counting guillotines instead of sheep. The riot that wasn't. Street signs renamed after street poets hang like involuntary melpomene. Windows unbroken, we linger jagged and wet, incapable of laughter, bone weary of failing to find humor in the roll call of the dead. Truth is, there never was both sides. Ceaseless cause, endless night, locusts struggle for morning. Necks broken under the heel of a divide ever widening. They had to rename this neighborhood, an acrimonious acronym for Feel Safe Now. Pestilence and boils, thunderstorms of hail and fire, fish with frog's eyes, the first plague in search of happy hour and cheap rent, turning water into blood, gray matter into mud. You know it's a bring-your-own bulldozer party. Free drinks for anyone willing to prove just how willingly unfree they've become. Instant oblivion, drug-induced or otherwise, or we can trade in our white guilt for 2 all-expense-paid tickets on Colonial Cruise Line. All aboard the USS Puppet is the master, where no one's seen the sun and days. DJ settles for death, leading incantations out into the alleyway. Dance yourself free, he says. As if forgetfulness wasn't a crime, as if hypocrisy wasn't the lifeblood of the nation, our collective will predetermined by a shadow board of post-war pandemonia apologists. Stop asking, what else can we do? Rhetorically. Let our people go is not a complicated demand. Did you mean it? What you said in the poem about the abject poverty of the sun? About the fear of timelessness irreversible, about somebody blowing up America, when you made light of a tragedy and an offhand mentioning of, hey, maybe it's time to forget, did you mean it? When you wrote white nihilism and the snags of winter on dirty cocktail napkins and hid them in my sock drawer, when you said words are only capable of referring to other ones and nothing has ever been communicated except through violent acts of love, what did you mean when you condemned them to California? When you went to the library to print out a list of beheaded aristocrats? When you wore the mask of tape, terrifying tourists guilted into buying tchotchkes, they didn't piss themselves in the alley, did you mean it? When you made a wheel of bones, a portal of flesh on fire between what you meant, what you didn't, what was real, and what has yet to be realized. When you said revolution is the only cure for what ails us and brought a gun to school and stashed it, you were just joking, right? When you said membership in a group that indiscriminately lies, cheats, steals, kills without repercussion makes you culpable, thus all cops, not just the bad ones. What'd you mean by abolitionist? When you called your senator and demanded to know how a body, founded by looting, could justify murder on the grounds of protecting a body against looting and still make it to church on time, you had to be joking, pulling my leg, chopping my hands off. What did you mean, guillotine? You can't be serious. You don't actually think the world could look that way, do you? No amount of property damage will ever make up for the deeds that America has done and done again, and yet tonight we will break open every window, tear down every syntax, and burn every meaning-filled firehouse to the ground so you can see how seriously angry we've become. A poem about the apocalypse is still a poem. A map of the stars woven into your grandmother's quilt can keep you warm and be used to wash the blood off. To exist outside of or in opposition to prevailing standards of taste is what you meant when you started writing poetry in the first place. I don't really have a plan. I'm just like cycling through. I don't think I've ever read this one out loud because I do not like it. Or I like it, but I don't get it. Maybe you could explain it to me. This is Hunger Strike as collective hallucination. The coming winter is inevitable, as the crash is inevitable, as the subsequently sad song. The stemming towards love is inevitable. The truth is everything, and only the truth is inevitable. The sun and the dimly lit sky are inevitable, as the morning gloom, as the escape route is inevitable. The river and the sea and the unceded land between are inevitable. The ghost returning is inevitable, as the endeavor to persist, as the acute homesickness is inevitable. The nightmare of rust is inevitable, this debacle inevitable, this inverted earth inevitable. The nostalgia withdrawals are inevitable, as the weight and the lack thereof, as the plague and the panacea are inevitable. The welcome lack of wind is inevitable, as the cure is mutiny, as the laughter in spite of the man. Eternal return is inevitable, for the war as dinner party is inevitable. Ferlinghetti from the rooftops is inevitable. The throwing of stones is inevitable, as the arsonist fire, as the relevant body. The mortal grudge is inevitable, as the stampede and the firing squad, as the necropolis is inevitable. Gravity and the blade and the love they share for each other is inevitable. The metaphor in and of itself is inevitable, as the scattered whispers, as the divine rot. As the ice thaws in spring, unleashing efficient cause for inevitable flood. I have no idea how long I've gone, but I'm going to read two more. Thank you. There are no seasons in hell. Even down here you are unwanted, an immortal burden of time, a sacrificial vector, the devil himself annoyed by the mere thought of your presence. Demons whispering behind curtains, you know, things were so much better here before the earth gave up on you. Far flung, eternally banished below. guilty of autoerotic animal magnetism, serpent of sex-devouring silence. If I hold your hand through this tunnel, will you promise not to look back? We are a cave of projected newspaper headlines, cattle called to a slaughterhouse of dreams, a waking nightmare of rib cages broken open to let a little sunshine in. Two-way mirrors where we only see ourselves from a distance, just past the point of recognition, the curtains pulled back, and it's all hot air and no balloon. The phantom limbs of lies told outright and uncompelled. We are neither radically free nor remotely responsible for what comes next. A silhouette of ghosts pirouetting in unnamed fog. Unable to place which side of the mountain we're on, we know one thing is certain. There is no going back. Even the slightest accidental glance would rip you right off this world, set us swinging backwards in unbroken sea. We are the black and white glow of neutered soul. Involuntary castration of the heart, yes. It still bleeds, but can it love? Can it sing? Each generation burns the previous one's temples to the ground. Just as every eon before them, newness shall reign supreme, the old doctrines erased and replaced with an open and blank stage. Everything has led to this. Dear child, you are what we always wanted. Perpetually, we await the dawn of your epoch to obliterate what we failed to destroy. This is a really special space. This room means the world to me as a poet, as a San Franciscan. Anything we can do to keep this place alive. It's like, we mentioned a few other spaces like this, but this is like all we have left as really intense nihilism is taking over our city and making it impossible to be a human being here. This is called Manifesto for the Southeast Facing Window, and it's for Lawrence, Jack, and Diane, and today is Diane DePrima's birthday. We, the dutiful daughters and solitary sons of St. Francis, refuse to participate in this vapid war of attrition against us. Our platform is simple: clean water, euthanize all landlords, and raise Moloch from the dead. Never mind that 20-volume suicide note nailed to the cathedral fence. Our change of heart happened not by chance, but simultaneously with the door slamming against you on your way out. Once the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence have occupied City Hall, all police stations shall be razed to the ground. Every prison, jail, classroom, and office building shall be liberated, all false prophets rescinded, all phonies deported. The sole duty of the police will be to perform bad poetry at children's birthday parties. The mayor shall sleep in the street until every resident of his city is housed. Representative Wiener will publicly apologize for being clandestine monarch of real estate, death corp, and a real nihilist piece of shit. The school board shall host mid-90s raves on Alcatraz where La Montilla blessed LSD Eucharist will be disseminated. City council should be locked in Coit Tower until a plan to return all stolen land back to the Ohlone has been ratified. It was pointed out to me recently that we don't have a city council in San Francisco. We have a board of supervisors. So sorry, let me try that again. The board of supervisors shall be locked in Coit Tower until a plan to return all stolen land back to the Ohlone has been ratified. There will be 10 years of spring in California. There will be typewriters on every street corner, soup kitchens in every ballpark, and free avant-garde cinema in every BART station. Each new resident will be given a cat, 3 Baumkopf poems, and a lifetime supply of paint. If the residents of specific whites won't stop pretending it's winter, they shall be blindfolded and made to wander through the hypocrisy labyrinths of their own making. If you happen to find this new reordering of the world is more than you can stomach, there will be bombed-out Bolinas-bound Volkswagens leaving Market Street every hour on the hour. Karen will personally ferry all vampires, Zionists, and closet capitalists back across the river. There shall be a new rebirth of wandering the streets. A parade of peanut shells, learners' ghosts will lead the second line down an avenue formerly known as Columbus. This city is Caesarean bound, a cause-filled joyful noise no effect can silence. What was blood thrown down from umbilical cloud, aborted greed nightmare of usefulness is past. Long gone are the days when the depths of this city shall be measured by what it can outgross, outcubicle, outfeign. Brutal and inexhaustible love shall be our ruler henceforth. Ranked only by what we can lay bare, a sanctuary of strange, we are the city we deserve. Steep and untamable, we stay heartbreakingly beautiful because something is broken. The isolated slivers of was, the infinite allure that brought each of us here, shall persist as long as there is a window to look out from and wonder. Thank you.
Wow, what an evening. Andrew Paul Nelson, awesome stuff. How to draw a guillotine. Man, that's the recipe I think we can all abide by. And now, at last, here's our tip jar. So we honor the efforts of tonight's poets with a little, if you have a little extra, whatever. Yeah, and which, Mukethe, you have several of your books are out on that?
Just one little chapbook, but I also
Oh,
have free zines if people like zines.
okay, so we got a few things if folks want to check what's here available for purchase this evening. All right, so we're going to, let's see, it's it's almost 8 o'clock. It's 9 minutes till 8. So at 8 o'clock we'll reconvene and go through the list of the open mic readers. So trust everyone who wants to read is signed up, and we'll get that underway. I'll read a few things. Jerry will do something to warm up the crowd, and then we'll begin the list of readers. So great. Thank you, everyone, and much appreciation to the two fabulous readers tonight. we're about to get started. All right, guys, we're about to get started for the open mic portion of the evening. Yeah, it's been fabulous. I want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. And of course, next month we'll also have a 7 o'clock first Thursday of the month event. And Greg Pond will be one of the poets. And I don't know who's reading with him, but I know Greg will be reading. And good. I'm glad to see people are not neglecting the poet's tip jar. It looks very good. So I'll read a quartet of very brief things, and then Jerry will follow me and preside over the open mic portion of the evening. This is entitled Sloth is Like Sleep, or Youth. A thick sap aflame in our veins like a lazy dog in heat as the whole chingadera burns down. Me, I wake up each morning like a stone dropping from heaven. I don't know my ass from an onion. Whenever I see a woman reading Beckett in public, I pretend to be a blind man with perfect pitch and write my name with a twig in the sand. And this is a trio of brand new things from just the last few days, but this is called Prognostication. Despite the definitive text of tea leaves, the infallible map of sheep entrails, and the prophetic gyrations of innumerable stars, the future is reluctant to be revealed. We're either too early or too late. Little do we know what time has up its frayed silk sleeve knit by glowworms. Gods and bardo realms, inquisitions and hungry ghosts, the whole theological edifice, a hoot from cellar to bell tower, but I wake up suddenly. Another dark, spiky, unflowering thing, afraid to turn my back on the ocean. Time's interstices, they rhyme like Mecca and Mars, molasses and blood, salt and stars. Take a chance, make an ill-informed wager. Trust the truth on the tip of your tongue. I'll conclude with this called Afterlives. Like ants asleep in a log about to sink, we skim the surface dreaming and wake up to be drowned. All right, thank you so much. All right, Jerry Faraz.
Michael's, when I used the first open poetry thing I went to was at Minnie's Can Do. When was that, Michael? 72. 72, yeah. That's when I first heard Michael. And I've heard him all these years, all his stuff. Yeah. Hello. This is Sestina Alforte. Alforte means with force. Sestina is a 6-line poem. In hot summer have I great rejoicing. When the tempest kill the earth's foul peace. And the lightnings from black heaven flash crimson. And the fierce thunders roar me their music. And I love to see the sun rise, blood crimson, and I watch his spears through the dark clash. And it fills all my heart with rejoicing, and pries wide my mouth with fast music. When I see him so scorn and defy peace, his lone might against all darkness opposing. All right. Okie dokie. Thank you. So we got, oh, what is it, 12 posts or something like that? You know what that means? All you posts. Okay. You don't know what that is. All right. Yeah, we've got 12 poets, and I have to put on my glasses to read. I literally can't read.
Jerry, want me to read the names out?
Anybody got reading glasses?
I'll tell you that the first one is my name, so I can just
Oh, here it is. Okay, now, Marshall Lee Jenkins?
That's me.
Okay, Marshall Lee Jenkins.
All right. Can you give me the microphone?
Oh, yeah.
Usually it's too high. This might just be a little too low.
Of course. And I'll move this.
Let's see, how's it?
Unless you want to sit on it.
No, I don't need to sit on it, I don't think. How's this? It's pretty good? Can you hear me all right? All right, great. Hi, it's great to be here with all of you, and I'm excited because I have a poetry chapbook that's coming out by Finishing Line Press. Thank you. Are all called Words You Can't Eat in Public. And I do have some postcards if anyone wants to order now at the pre-order period, which you save $2, and it's good for my royalties, so that'd be great. Also, I'm doing a workshop with Paul Corman Roberts, you may know. Yeah. He's doing a thing on how you organize your poetry and put it into a chapbook and get it published. So he's going to do something on Saturday at Page Street, which is a writers gathering place, from 10 to 12. So if you're interested, see me. There's also a flyer out there in the bulletin board, but just thought that I would have to mention that. So I'm going to read one poem from this from my chapbook, and then one that I've written just recently. Okay. Found a poem. I found a poem. I was young. A little bird told me. A weeping willow beckoned her long braids of green whispering at my window. I sat down to write. I found a poem. I found a poem. When I grew up, some guy casually said, "You know, there are 2,000 published poets around here." Who needs 2001, I thought. I shooed away poems that followed me home. I got older. My poem detector broke. I wanted my gift back. I had to start over, training eyes and ears to overhear the sparks, remarks that sent me flying into verse. There are poems all around us. A mockingbird can imitate all the birds in the garden, even the bright blue jays and the cawing crows. I found a poem. I found a poem. I found a poem, didn't I? They're out there. I can feel them, budding up from the soil, hanging from the trees, stuck inside the mailbox, itching to escape the mouth of a careless passerby. How to find a poem. Be still. Watch. The heron waits, her long neck coiled, to snatch the gopher in the grass. She eats the poem for her supper. 2 million poets are not too many. I wait. And this is one for right now. It's called If Peace Were a Poem. If peace were a poem, what would it sound like? Would it rhyme, march along rat-tat-tat, or dance with joy, blow bubbles, place flowers in bayonets, give away days saved in the peace bank, not the war chest? I hear the rat-tat-tat of war dead endlessly marching, not just soldiers, but children, buried by their collapsing homes, stopped short of being grown. If peace were a poem, protesters and soldiers might intermingle, trade stories instead of bullets and bricks, cheer each other on for keeping the peace. People say they don't like poetry, but nobody says they don't like peace. Although you'd have to wonder why all the wars seem connected by long strands of flesh and blood and pieces of broken promises, bitter retribution, and shattered slogans. Rat-tat-tat. Peace at any price. Why does that sound bad? Why does that scare more people than the price of war? Make love, not war was my generation's proclamation as we marched and sang and protested while others fought and died. Some returned but left their souls behind. A bad poem can be ignored, laughed at, but war brings the house down, tramples dreams, and only offers peace to those who die before their time. If peace were a poem, we wouldn't have to wait so long for heroes to come home. After Vietnam, some came home to the redwood forests and lived on the land with what was left of them. Others stayed in the cities, never getting the hang of living again, let alone finding peace. Still, we march, sing songs like Woody and Joan, while all the boys in the band, my heroes, wait for a new tune to catch on. Thank you.
Hello. This is my first time here. It's my first time ever reading in public. Thank you. So I'm a Peninsula native, and I still live there. And I'm an author, local author. I write about the Peninsula and Greater Bay Area, history, people, culture, mysteries, mythology, and the beauty of this place we call the Bay Area. So I'll share a few of these poems. This first one gets more into the mythology. It's called The Return of the Egyptians. It's a villanelle. In San Jose, the shift has begun. The Rosicrucians mystically foretold. Egyptian rhythms flow into the sun. The peaceful gardens wait for only one. Hatshepsut enters through portal of gold. The past and present will exist as one. New Giza awaits, it's second to none. She walks past statues great and relics old. Egyptian rhythms flow into the sun. Against the god Silicon, Set has won. The pharaohs gaze on this woman so bold. The past and present will exist as one. She sits on her throne as justice is done. An ankh on an ebony cane she holds. Egyptian rhythms flow into the sun. Great pyramids rise that won't be undone. A modern temple of Ra to behold. The past and present will exist as one. Egyptian rhythms flow into the sun. Thank you. This next is 3 vignettes from my childhood with a couple of common threads. It's called Bug Tales. We drove over the hills to Half Moon Bay. The Doors on the radio in his red 68 Bug. A young boy and a Vietnam vet to visit his favorite haunts. We entered a coastside bar, my eyes squinting in the smoky space. Bottles clinking and jukebox blaring. He drank his beer and I had my Coke. A woman like Janis Joplin fluffing my hair. Marble game in the lot outside. He told me not to tell when we drove to his parents, but I caved when his father asked, with the stern authority of Ward Cleaver. He took me home in silence, my new big brother never to be seen again. My teacher picked me up for a field trip, wavy brown hair and youthful energy, her yellow Bug taking us out for adventure to Huddard Park, as Cat sang Morning is Broken, while we drove through dappled sunlight and the sweet scent of pine trees. We sat under an oak tree, sketching the scenery. A man across a creek from us meditating, Jesus in the redwoods. She took me home and drove off as I watched her through the rear window, heading into an unknown future. One more. A slight pause. My neighbor washed his Volkswagen weekly, shiny metallic green Bug, dripping turtle wax. His reward for surviving his stepfather, trophy on wheels. We piled inside, the smell of fresh armor all filling our noses, and headed down the L, the Smiths banging loud on the stereo. Got time for one more? I'll do a quick one. Okay. The Blue Lady. Foamy waves wash onto the shore in the moonlight. Fats Waller squeeze me, playing on the piano. A woman in blue fringe sways to the music, fingering the pearls on her necklace, her pulse quickening. The lounge is empty, the ivory notes floating through space to be heard in a memory. Former guests watch the performance from old photos on the walls, where they drink gin and dine on steak and calamari. The lady walks down to the beach, a gentle breeze passing through her, and watches the tide come in, waiting. She comes here every night, where they used to meet, the mistress and the pianist, to watch the boats slip into the cove and deliver their cargo, and to feel their warmth as they light a smoke and dream of a future that would be taken away.
Okay, Yolanda Caxalco.
I wrote this poem today. It's hard for me to write 'cause my boyfriend passed October 2nd of last year. We were together. We lived together for 31 years. We met as homeless. But it's part of my bereavement. And that's what I felt like writing. I said, what should I write about? And I felt like writing about him. How do you move on after a dearly loved one dies? Brief encounters with men who have lost a spouse, or a chat with a woman who has lost her husband. Make it easy to engage in a conversation about how they died, but not about empty feeling, the sadness of the absence. Easier to read Native Americans' legends, which have stories about spirits, than to read a people's history of the world. 2. Where to from here? More church masses, writers' workshops, lunch, a Gubbio Project harm reduction gathering in a garden setting, where sometimes your brain is in a state of shock, numbness, and forgetfulness. Pans for people to sit on. Today is first Thursday of the month. Looking forward to poetry readings.
Thank you, Yolanda. And Dan Capps, please. Dan. Let it rip, Dan.
This good? Yeah. What? Okay. I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 years ago, when they had Steinhardt Aquarium before the new corporate thing they put up, they had a baby white shark for a while until it started eating the other fish. So it was an experience to see that. So I wrote a poem called White Shark. She doesn't emerge from the murk. She occurs in sudden abruption against the glass. Cavernous eye, huge in the convex lens of the tank, blank as a chisel. Menageried, but still at large in our genetic machinery. Nonchalant flick of tail fluctuates her back into darkness. And a poem I wrote recently called Summer Fog. Excuse me. The planet is never silent. Far enough away from people, you can hear its steady patter. If only you could tell what it meant. Flowers know. It's supposed to be summer, flaunting their lustful blushes at anything that whirs, buzzes, or just happens to be passing. Not sure if the sun, asleep behind the sky, knows. Hey, wake up, motherfucker. Come on out already. Don't you know it's summer? Shh, not so loud. Whispers, only whispers are allowed this clandestine season. Okay, one more. Thank you. I've written a bunch of poems lately that are expressions of aspects of my personality, and I've given them persona, and so I call them the persona poems. And this one is, by someone I call John. As long as I can remember, I've been at the mercy of beauty, enthralled by its briefness, its voluptuous flicker. The heated press of lips to lips, flesh on flesh, not lust, not the bestial rut of creatures in season, but glimmers of paradise, like the patterns of veins in an oak leaf, of wind ruffles in grass, of just opened cantaloupe, of luminous Turner oil, storm-racked seas, waves thundering, turmoils of foam. But the real story is redemption of this moment from dissolution. So we press on disconsolate to the next transcendence and the next, tempering our expectations, yet still hopelessly infatuate. Thank you.
What's the title of that poem again?
The last poem?
Yeah.
John. No. Yes, John. John.
Okay.
Yeah. As in Don Juan.
Pretty good. Okay. Brett Benson.
Brett Benson.
Hey y'all, how you doing? Good. All are welcomed. They love deeper than ocean trenches, their hearts bound like caves at the base of mountains they climbed once together. Their fire was something rare, something that had not existed in 1,000 years on the earth. Movement was a language in so many tongues that people came from all corners. Speech and action showed that for all their faults, each soul asked only one thing: to belong as they loved to be loved. When the night came, no beats were missed or hearts turned away. Peace did not come from bowing, and nor would it ever. Peace came by mutual treatment. The people danced and drank in essence with nature, and nature was happy to say, "Stay. All are welcome." This is called It Is Within. Hey, how'd the job go? Oh, sorry to hear that. And the college, did you hear back from them yet? Oh, gotcha. Well, how's the sports team? I see. So it's been a rough time. Yeah. Anything holding you up? No. I see. So how you feeling? Ooh. You know what? Let me pause you there. Because I think there's something we need to remember here. It isn't about what you accomplish. It's about what's within. You see, I've watched you for a long time, and you're amazing. But I know at times you doubt yourself because no one in your family has ever gone to university, and there's times where you don't feel like you're going to belong somewhere because of that thing you called imposter syndrome. I understand. Not in the exact same way. We're two humans with two different experiences. But what can I give you right now to remind you that the cosmos is within? I want to find the stardust and realign it in your bones. I don't care how long it's going to take to get there because you are worth it. The universe within you is not for negotiation. Your worth is beyond words. You are allowed to love yourself even through your worst failures. So what is it? What do you need as a reminder? I can't walk the road for you.
I can only try to go with you along the way and remind you that sometimes materialism will try to tell you that you're worth nothing. Remember to turn off the damn screen. Remember to get out and smell the trees, take your shoes off and walk in the grass. Steady yourself once again, because if I have to tell you 1,001 times to sing you to sleep tonight that you moved mountains once to remind yourself of the goodness within, I will freaking do it until I am blue in the face. You know why? Because that's what friends do. We don't give up on one another. We've been through many storms. And I know sometimes you don't know where to go. But sometimes you don't need to know the direction. Just know that the power is within.
This is my second time reading. I got a bunch of them. They tend to be short. I tried to, actually, I practiced this month. Last month was my first time. I'm embarrassed by it. But anyways, this one's called Yesterday. Note from the day after the last. Take away yesterday and all would be all right. We'd find a place. We'd make a space for everyone to be and somehow erase yesterday. We'd recognize and realize today for all that's best. Then yesterday would go away, just like all the rest. The difficult truth is, the truth is difficult. Lies are easy. Easy is hard without lies. And there lies the truth. What did you say? I don't know if I can read it again. Anyways, there's never been a better deadline than our own. So own it, we must. I started the other one. Own it, we must. Right now, or there won't be a later. Take my word for it. There is no word for it. I may be mistaken, but I think we've taken more than our share without a thought or care about why we're here or where we're bound. Can the lost be found? I'll try to cheer it up now. This one, a little more cheery and hopeful. Speak your mind, roll your eye, cross your heart, hope to die, curl your lip, bend your ear, cross your fingers, wipe your tears, nod your head, tap your toe, cross your eyes, blow your nose, bend a knee, beg to see what it means to be or not to be. Lift your eyes, be surprised, old is new in that same old way. How about you? What will you say? Will it show the way to another place where we can find a place to twitch our nose and cross our toes, bat our eyes and look surprised? For if we do, I'll shake my tail and never fail to crack a smile and play a while in this newfound now. I'm on a roll. We need to want nothing more than anything else to find everything we need. Take away the ticking and time would be okay. No reminder of the passing, except the passing day. All right, a little more grumbly. This progress must regress before we digress to our demise. Redress what it means to mean something. Impress Earth with our worth. It's worth a try. If we don't live up to our promise, there won't be a promise for us. She doesn't have time. Our time is ours to save, and save we must. It's destiny or dust. We must adjust to being a part of it all. We must adjust to being a part of all and leave that old all behind. Find a new this that is now. I'm afraid it's now or never. Okay. I'll continue. Are we here to denigrate, defecate, and deliberate our own demise? Or investigate and integrate our hopes with our lies and create a place where everyone survives? It's curious what we learn when we're curious. Depravity beyond, this is topical. Depravity beyond belief, despotic destruction with no relief. Time to take the helm of truth, destroy every lie, every try to destroy us. That's a capital U-S. All right. Home stretch, I think. And following that up with, the gutless have dragged us into the gutter. I'm disappointed in pointing out, okay, I'll start over. I'm disappointed in pointing out I'm out of patience with understanding why so many never try to understand why they don't understand so much. Kind of follow that up with, they have so much to talk about, so little to say. They have so little to think about. They like it that way. Easy conversation is hard for me. My inner voice is now a scream! Never has there ever been anything like now. Never will there be again anything like then. Never have we ever known the why or the how. Never will we ever know any more and have any more than now. Couple quick ones. So done a while ago. Everyone is killing the world. Everyone is a world away from knowing what to do. And finishing off with, I'm oblivious of how obvious I am. Is it obvious how oblivious I am? Thank you. What's that? Thank you very much. You should have seen last month. Thank you. Thank you all. Oh, you sit here for a moment.
Okay, next we have Patrick the Poet.
Patrick the Poet.
Let's go! That's the poet.
Good evening, everyone. I just brought a few short poems to read. Some of my favorite that I hadn't recited in a long time. The first one is entitled Fond Memories. Fond memories of you are all that I have left. You see, I gave so much of me until I have nothing left for myself. Without you, I'm so alone, and I eagerly await your return. Until then, my fond memories of you are precious ones. Thank you. The next one is entitled Sleep My Life Away. I have searched relentlessly for the woman of my dreams, only to end up all alone. It seems unfair to me. She must be real because I know her so well. I have searched high and low. Tell me, where do you go to find the love of your life? I know not where to look anymore. When I close my eyes to go to sleep, that's when she will appear in my dreams. So I guess I'll sleep my life away. Thank you. And the last one that I like to share is called Come Clean. I confess, it's true. It just happened. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm not questioning it. Good things come to those who wait. It gets better from here on. If I had it to do all over again, I wouldn't hesitate. You're worth it. You hear me? Would I say it if I didn't mean it? Believe me, all right? Thank you.
Okay, Patrick. And next is Bree. Bree? Yeah. One more.
So, it was my first time reading here. So great to be here. It's a really great place. Well, I'll leave it like this. Okay. So, I'm going to read. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to read 3 short poems. And the first one, thank you. The first one is I draw and paint, and so I have kind of this fear if I learn too much accuracy, I'll lose any form of expression. So I've been doing that for a little while, but it's called Drawing Lemons. What Picasso did was hard, painting childlike after he knew too much. I'm at the tipping point. Learning can go wrong. Learning can go too far. The grads from the academy lost their souls, but can draw a bowl accurately. But what about the Japanese ceramicist who, after spinning out a perfect half sphere, knocks some wrongness into it just to remember life ain't perfect? To finally perfect is death, obviating progression, wrenched of heart. So I won't be going back to my classes at the academy. I'm keeping my wrongness about me. On the spice bag. On the spice bag, you had written a soliloquy on what I could not read except for the line, for 3 minutes of peace. Cool, dark strands fell into your eyes as you poured herbs into my open hands. Your intellect never overpowered your need to soothe. Under overcast sky, Basho landed on the pavement, unopened. What are leaves? What are shears of an intrude? This tunnel, this vessel compact, those tiny bowls were pillowed straight in your silk room. I mean the pieces, not the broken up crumb.
Thank you. It's okay, Clark.
So Charlie?
Charlie, I'm sorry, Charlie.
Thanks, Jerry. Oh, somebody had scratched their name out, and I kind of wrote mine over it small. Always wanted to be Clark. I think I'm Clark now. I think that's my new name. You guys see me again, you call me Charlie. I'm not even going to turn around. You gotta say Clark. Yes, that's what I need. Hi, new stuff. Last time I read it here, it was during the pandemic, and it was all on the Zoom. But I wanted to get out of the house, so I went and I did the Zoom reading from right outside the building. And I put my little books up there, and the cop just kept going around the block because nobody was doing nothing outside. I was like sitting there just shouting at my cell phone. I don't know if that worked okay, or who knows? Who knows? Maybe the Zoom reading totally sucked. This is new. New shit. Dappled and drowsy. There's a story in D.C. about when the cops, instead of rounding up the prostitutes on 14th Street, forced them with threats to walk across the 14th Street Bridge to Virginia
A dick move, to be sure, which they rightly caught hell for. It was a response to when Virginia cops would decant indigent people onto the bridge to walk to the district. Another dick move, which the Virginia cops got away with, and maybe still do. It's the same bridge that an airplane, weighted by ice and fuel, crashed into on a cold morning, killing all but a few on board and also a few commuters. On a positive note, though, I don't think that any indigent people or prostitutes were injured in the crash. I didn't live in the Bay when the earthquake knocked out a chunk of the Bay Bridge, but I do remember the political gymnastics they attempted when it came time to replace the eastern span. Every artist's rendering. And what they came up with is so aesthetically pleasing. I am genuinely impressed. But I reserve any final opinions on it until the next big earthquake. Paul Simon wrote about bridges. A bridge over troubled water. The 59th Street Bridge, which I guess is where you go when you're feeling groovy. I've felt groovy. And I thought I'd never been across that bridge until I looked it up and learned actually it's the Queensboro Bridge, which is how you get from the airports into Manhattan, which I have done, and I guess felt groovy in the process. When you drive out of North America, you cross a terrible bridge that is always full of traffic both ways across the Panama Canal, but it's pretty to look at. The Bridge of the Americas. So except for the traffic, it's pretty groovy. Bridges are supposed to be things that pull us together. They ease understanding, but they cost money to build, to cross, and lovely, lonely people jump off them. Where Connecticut Avenue crosses Rock Creek Park, there's a big old masonry bridge that people jump from, maybe with the same similar frequency as they jump from our orange one. And that's not groovy. In every big action movie set in San Francisco, they always have the kaiju knock down the Golden Gate Bridge. Or it's an earthquake. Or it's a missile. Or it's the entry point for an army of genetically modified apes. And I wonder, where does the groovy lie? On the other side of the bridge? On the bridge itself? On this side? It can't be in the troubled water. But that's where I feel we are. Some people treading water. Some people not staying up. Other people falling on our heads, propelled by their own despair through the air with a gravity assist. So we must swim. We must swim. All of us. The 14th Street prostitutes, the indigent Virginians, the commuters, breathing in exhaust, breathing out exhaustion. 'Cause in the end, aren't we all just genetically altered monkeys? We must swim, and if we make it, we can heave ourselves up on a rock and watch the sun climb down the back stairs of the sky. Beams pouring over towers and cables, and though we may be damp and cold, just making it to shore might, along with a pretty sunset, be enough to feel groovy. Because hell, I'm already dappled and drowsy. Thank you.
right. Hi all. My pen name is Kimai, which in Korean is Korean slang for someone who is overly generous. And as my aspiration with the words is just to give it all away. So I have two poems for us tonight. One is about remembering and one is about forgetting. They're both bilingual Korean poems, so I'm assuming most of us here don't speak Korean, so I'll give you a little bit of context here. The first poem. Do you all know what haenyos are? The women sea divers of Jeju Island. Some people might have watched Last of the Sea Women by Malala. They're these incredible women who free dive and catch conch and abalone and sea urchins and can hold their breath for 10 minutes. And the median age is something like 60 or 70 now. It's a dying art. And one of our dear friends is a haenyeo. She's the youngest in her village. She's 35. And this is a poem for her. Two words that you might need to know to understand this. Hoi is the sound that they make before diving in order to retain their breath, and hanado is basically means also my friend Hana, or it can mean not even one. Sumbi sori, the sounds of breathing. The butterflies wake us, quiver over sunlit tangerine blossoms reflected on our shed window. The volcanic ocean stretches out into seaweed hues to swallow fishing boats on their daily catch. Haenyos meander the shoreline on their day off, disguised as mere mortals, some of them. Hana says they have not caught a single abalone since they built the naval base upshore. Hanado, not even one. Still, they pine for tomorrow when they will sweat in their mother's belly, and the salt on their skin will taste real again. We worship in different ways. Us, in the pulse of our bodies under the shadow of Hallasan, next to the field of greenhouses that hide saplings of hallabong, apple mangoes, Jeju tangerines, and other domestic exotics that will one day sit on a shelf suffocated under the shine of saran wrap, in a luxury grocery store in Seoul, to yearn for attention amidst the lewd display of imported jackfruit and mangosteen. For a little longer, though, they can still breathe the sharp ocean air flapping through the worn edges of polycarbonate. All of this, an early spring sonata, muted by the mist as it crashes into basalt and scatters into the blue light of the sea. Hoi, hoi, hoi. Thank you. The next one I had fun with. It's about forgetting. I can't tell if you can see, but it's shaped like a hummingbird under a flower. Took me a while. The words you need to know in advance here are 엄마 is mother, 할머니 is grandmother, and 모르겠다 is I don't know. And the second stanza is all in Korean, so I will read it first in Korean, and then I'll read the English translation. Hummingbird. 엄마 points to the flutter of wings outside the window and yells into 할머니's good ear. How do you say hummingbird in Korean? 할머니 first gazes at the distant fog, and then with sudden clarity exclaims, hummingbird, in English. We burst into floral laughter while she smiles, coyly, drifting, muttering, 모르겠다, 모르겠다, 모르겠다. 벌새가 벌써 할머니 머릿속에서 날아갔나요? 꽃치마 자락 밑에서 떨며 꿀을 탐하는 벌새처럼 치매가 우리 할머니의 마음을 아름답게 시들게 하네. Has hummingbird already flown from grandmother's mind? Like a hummingbird trembling with desire beneath the hem of a flower skirt. Dementia so beautifully withers my grandmother's mind. So thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now, does this say wing? Wing. Wing. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Down below.
This
Down
one?
below.
Oh dear.
No, down below. There you go.
Oh, this guy. Ah. Oh. Wow. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everybody. This has been a really beautiful evening. This is my first time reading here, and it's so nice to see community. All right, I'm just gonna get started. I have 3 poems to read today, and yeah, I guess that's it. The first one's called Hangover. Another question on the other side of the question, whether to be right or kind or fair. When we shared a bed during dawn's sober hours, you left, I returned, and walking together is like sharing a body unexpectedly caught in the trajectory of a momentary flirtation. Those the hours I counted alone in the dark, casting for something unbroken to bring home, to share. What if I vanished while calling it a bit, leave you wondering how to wholly disappear? So this one's called Ribcage. When I was 7, I fell off a friend's bike, scratched up my rib cage, and I didn't tell. Red stripes like a tiger, but just a bleeding girl. The wound closed over, but I feel the skin stretch still whenever I reach towards someone in the night, not wanting to turn off the lights I can't body without sleep. A vessel for those nightmares, she keened beside me. So I called her name until she curled, and we woke one around the other like smoke rising from incense, like sutures in a wound. I mix peroxide with baking soda when washing blood from our sheets, or else roll over and dream of a haunting. A ghost can only be an alive thing, or else how would it follow? My mind is stacked with dollhouses, another word for home, toy girls playing family. This haunting was never mine. We homed it anyway, 2 children holding hands, calling it a suicide pact. Thank you. So this one's a little funny. I don't know if you can see, but there are black squares on the page. So when I say redacted, I want you to imagine a black square covering up another word. Thanks. Okay, this is called Look. A shadow is light cut off, an object merely the caster, diffracting the spectrum to shelter its redacted. Mirror, other, sight, encircle, fractal, focal. Transpose sign and being, reflect on the translucent backs of eyelids. Supple gaze, try to touch light otherwise. Hold a lover's eye by glint alone. Does a hand hold a hand if the senses disagree? Imagine the eye as Aleph, sole point of space and time. Within sight, the sun, the moon, their sum, eclipsing all histories, patties, and the fall. Shadow, object, light, redacted. Thank you.
And Danielle.
Hi. How's this? Can you hear me? What? Yeah? Mukethe Kawinzi and Andrew Paul Nelson, thank you. It was such a pleasure to get to hear you both read. Inspired by Mukethe Kawinzi, I have memorized one poem, and I'm going to trot that poem out just for the rest of my life. So this is Reclining Nude. There are certain men I don't ever want to be alone in a room with. I am certain that to be alone in a room with these men is to be alone, as with a painting. Unspeaking object of attention, and of course, I am the painting. The man is the room, the whole room, and its unrepentant furnishings. The painting has shaved ceilings and unspeakable light. The man is the whole room and everything in it. In the painting, one lover, no room for a bed, only a sofa with her spine unyielding in the middle of their living. The artist gives stage directions, a wave of the hand, an unspoken yes. Yes, there. Move this way and that. Show more of the room. Show the place where he builds a fire and all the damage the smoke causes, trying to escape. The painting lit from underneath with pinks and ochre. That is called imprimatura, says the man. Says he thinks it means young. His finger follows one long thigh, up and up. Thanks, y'all. Just one more poem, and this is Midas at Horseford Creek. Already, poison oak grows unashamed around the shoulders of the boardwalk. Pollen thickens the air, knits a skin over this flank of water, water unhurried as sweat beneath the collar of a shirt. Summers ago, I ran my tongue from throat to chin, needing to taste even the salt of you. At the end of the bed, filling my mouth with your name. Above me, luminous moon. In another room, onions reclined in their wooden bowl. Scavenged chairs held their arms apart in wonder. To hold, to be held. Since birth, this particular hunger. My parents hoisted me to their shoulders in parks like this, where rock doves waddle into boxwoods and children totter after them, wanting to touch. My parents, too, once citizens of desire. After my father died, my mother leading her children to a pond pregnant with water lilies. Lilies planted so that the pond could be beautiful, could be more to us than our reflection in it, like a mother unfolding for her daughter the first letter a man ever wrote her, earthly in its fragility. Letter alive with want, having been wanted. Creek alive with sensation, licking its banks to taste what they have tasted. My fingers find their way to the heat of your palm, even in this heat, and the sun spreads open her light for this confluence as if to show us how holy it is where she touches. The water and the heads of the geese, the long neck of the cedar tree, all of it golden.
Did we get Rachel Rickley?
Next time, thanks.
Okay, next, okay. So, okay, thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming.
cigarette. Why am I standing here and not smoking? See these lines?